Do you know what your goals are that you want to manifest in 2024? Well, today we're going to talk about setting goals as an act of attention and intention so we can cultivate our intuition, help bring in the help of our guides, angels, and unlock our creativity and more. This is such an exciting time of year because manifestation is basically just an organized process of being a bridge between the heavens, the divine, creativity, ideas, and the earth plane. Look around you. Every single thing here was once the product of somebody's imagination that they manifested. This cool little clock on the wall, my floodlights. Look around you. Really, when we take a moment, it inspires wonder and awe. Now, in order to properly manifest, the first thing we have to do is set a goal. What are you trying to create? And it's a lot simpler than, I want a healthier, I want a fit body, I want a new car, I want a new whatever. All those things are great. But unless what you want truly is a heart-centered desire, something that awakens everything in you with a burning passion that just ignites you to create, it's a wish. And wishes have no juice. Desire, when you want something, I'm gonna create it, is your engine. It is your power. So this week, we're going to talk about how to start getting clear on what those goals are and how it really unlocks your intuition and is key to developing your extrasensory perceptions, right? Anything that's beyond our five senses. So before I go any further, hi, I'm Sonia. I'm a fourth generation intuitive. I teach you how to look back into your innate divine self, your intuition. And if you're new here, welcome, returning, welcome back, subscribe, short it up. And also on this very topic, I'm going to be teaching a workshop Sunday, December 17th at 11 a.m. Central. Check the information box below. And this will be a live class that's all about grounded tools around manifestation and really helping to create your heart-centered goals for 2024 and beyond, because this is a process. And this is our first very important part. So we have to recognize that your attention is your superpower. Literally, this is why TikTok and Instagram and all of it, this is why they offer those things, because your attention is so incredibly valuable. But what we also pay attention to seeds not only shapes how we see the world, but it also registers into our subconscious mind. And our subconscious basically helps to take our input and create patterns of belief. What is the view in which you see the world? I love the saying, if you're a hammer, everything is a nail. That is you as a mirror to what it is that you're paying attention to. So first, there is our 5 limited ego senses of I'm paying attention to my phone, I'm paying attention to this video. That's not your higher self. Now, below, in our bodies, this is your spirit, and your heart, and your belly. If you know me, my favorite tool of all. There is a spark. That is your spirit. And your spirit is the one that creates. And it's not my will, what I want. It's my higher self, divine will. That is a way deeper, more powerful engine. And that's the difference between a wish, which I think is our conscious mind, and a desire. That is your spirit. That says, I want to create that. Because manifestation is a creative act. It's creating. So first, pay attention to how it feels. What would you love to experience next? And where do you feel that in your body? When it's a wish, it's kind of like a leaf floating down a river. When it's a true desire, we feel it in our whole bodies. It reminds me of when I was a kid and all I wanted was a dog. I just wanted a dog more than anything. And I was 7 or 8, so I asked my parents, absolutely not. I subscribed to Dog Fancy magazine. I would read, I would walk dogs, I would do everything. I believed in every single cell in my body that I would get a dog. My dad, my family, we traveled a lot. They were not about it. And then one day on my mom's birthday, my parents told me, we are going to a friend's house in the suburbs, and she's awful and crotchety and awful and already trapped for a long time. Sabrina and I pile in the car, we drive out, and we wind up at this tiny little ranch home. We open the door and we are welcomed into this little kitchen. And what I see and notice right away are all these little dogs. And this woman, her name was Kathy, came over to me and had this tiny little black poodle in her hands. And she says, "Hi, Sonia, I have something for you," and handed it to me. And I teared up. I even get emotional thinking about it right now. And I looked at my mom and I said, "What is happening?" And she said, "I got you a dog." And it was her birthday and her birthday wish. And she was like, "I knew that you were manifesting. This is something that you needed in the core of your being." And that was our beautiful doggy, Misty. So for yourself, pay attention. What ignites that part that doesn't get caught up? Our mind, our human self gets caught up in a lot of different stories, a lot of different things, emotions, but your spirit is like a magic wand, and your attention is that magic wand. When you say, "I am paying attention," it's really just an act of concentration, right? We concentrate on things all the time. What we find interesting, what naturally brings our attention. So ask, is my goal something that I am interested in? Like when you're in a really good conversation partner and everything leans in, you're like, I cannot wait. I'm so interested. Same principle. Because when we really start to pay attention and use our awareness, not passively, like, "Oh yeah, I'm paying attention," but I am engaged. This is our first domino. And then that gives us our true heart desire. And then we start with number 2. I'm going to set an intention. I intend. Say that out loud. I intend to create whatever it is. I intend to do that. I intend to go to the gym. I intend to be dedicated to my workout practice. It's very different than like I want to or I should. I intend. That ignites our whole bodies. Ignites our whole selves, right? So when we create an intention, it's very different than a little goal or a wish. That's saying I am dedicating my whole time, attention, and energy and my creativity to creating this. Now, in order to create and manifest, like I intended to have a dog. I intended that with everything. All my attention was on paying attention to all of the dog things. I was like, I am creating this, and I did. So where we can start to really notice is first, when paying attention, instead of focusing on what you don't want, which can happen so often, we get caught up in the negativity bias. I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want that experience. Okay, good information. But what do you want to experience? What do you want to experience? What do you want to create? What do you want to co-create? What do you want to breathe into existence? Pay attention to that. That puts our band of awareness from what's not working to using that same superpower of concentration. And when we concentrate, when we pay attention to things this way, it registers, like I said, into our subconscious. And this creates our beliefs. This creates the patterns. This is how we see the world that starts to open up. And that's where we start to really get our juice with our subconscious reasoning. Right? Like, for example, in a really easy way that you can see how the subconscious works, if you ever watch a really scary movie before bed and then all of a sudden have dreams that are reflective of what you just watched, that's the exact same thing. Your conscious mind paying attention, registering into your subconscious. So when we pay attention to what we want to experience, it's the same thing. It's watering that fertile soil. So what we want to experience also depends on what you want to find. What do you want to experience depends on what you want to find. And this often is where we get caught up in trivial things, like big things, like, oh, I want a new car. I mean, great, fantastic, manifest a new car. But if you look at the subtle, if you look at what is more subtle as opposed to those big, which is an act of attention, it is key in developing our extrasensory perception, our intuition, our ability. And my favorite definition of intuition is to pay attention. It's to pay attention and to actively pay attention, to be engaged, to be lit up. It's a activated interest. It's concentrated. Concentrating, it is just being interested. So as you start to pay attention, really get clear on what your heart-centered goals are. And this is a goal. I am using my attention and my intention to create this. And more importantly than a wish, I'm like, do you believe you? That's what my mom always used to say, Graham. Do you believe you? Do you believe you? And if you don't, maybe first look at what's my window? What have I been feeding my conscious mind that shapes how I see the world? What do I need to change? Or is this not what I really actually want? Do I need to be more subtle? Now, what I know to be true so often, and just even in this act of developing our intuition, of like paying attention, even within all of this, as interesting as it might seem, like almost like a monkey bar, but we often don't pay attention. Like the people that you meet on, like that, even just people in our lives, often we're half engaged. We're scrolling on our phone, thinking about what we're going to say. We're thinking about our own world, right? So that means that when we're in these moments, our consciousness is not present with whoever, the gift that is in front of you. You are in your own mind. You are in your own subconscious. You are in your own images. You are in your own story movie bubble, not present, not paying attention, not noticing. So when you can even use this as an act to be who is right in front of you, sharing a moment to be interested, right? That is where we can use and sharpen our attention and really sharpen this as a spiritual tool, because intuition resides in the present moment. So there's so much, I've got so many things, but for yourself first, I was like, check in with my heart space. Does it light me up? And then I'm going to use my attention. What am I paying attention to? I'm going to create an intention. Write it down. I use the power of my attention and intention to create fill in the blank. Does it light you up? So I'm so excited. What are you going to create in 2024? What have you already created? Tell me in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. So I am sending you all my love. I hope to see you at my workshop. Don't forget to head to my website. I do intuitive readings, mentoring, got a podcast with the family, got all sorts of tools and resources to help you on your journey. And remember, you are an inherently divine creator, and you've already manifested so many beautiful things that you might not even realize. You're just sharpening your tools. So I'm here to help. Sending you my love. Bye.